Hello everyone, today we're doing a showcase for LUOCHA, the all-new, all-premium, super cool character that you want to summon for right now. Now this showcase is meant to show you a little bit more of his kit, how well he can or cannot do in certain situations, and so you could decide, hey, I want to summon for this guy, or maybe, hey, I don't want to summon for this guy, but you probably will, but maybe you shouldn't. We'll get into everything that he has to go for him, and of course we're going to start with his kit. Now, I don't have mine fully maximized to the potential that I could have him at right now. That is because there's a lot of grinding to do, and I just haven't had... Well, I'm doing as much as I can, but it regenerates pretty slow in this game, so you gotta take the time where you have it. Alright, so he is imaginary. Now, imaginary was a very, very, very little represented typing in this game for a long time. The only imaginary character in the entire game before the LUOCHA banner that just came out was Welt. And Welt is not a character you could guarantee unless you get those 300 pulls on the general banner, which you probably haven't reached at this point because you should not be spending Jade on that banner. That is most definitely for sure. But Welt is a very rare character. It's not the same as these ones where you can at least guarantee, LUOCHA at a certain point, right? Well, you just can't really do that. However, on LUOCHA's banner, there's another one, Yukong, who we actually have on this team here, who is another imaginary character, and of course, LUOCHA, who is, another imaginary character. So now we got 3 in the game. They're a little bit more out there, which is good, because you definitely want to be able to have as many types of characters as you can. Now, the imaginary is slightly different than most of the other ones. Quantum and imaginary are the ones that have, different, the most unique things. Ice is also relatively unique with the freezing, but imaginary, when you trigger Weakness Break, will deal magic damage and apply Imprisonment effect, delaying the enemy's actions and reducing their speed. The path he has is Abundance, which is of course a healer. He is primarily a healer, but he will surprise you with how much damage and other things he could add on. Most utility characters, especially free-to-play ones, or 4-star ones I should say, they have their utility, but they don't really have anything more on that. Tingyun has incredible attack increase, ultimate regeneration, but that's pretty much it. Yukong even really, their damage is a little extra. That's probably what they do, as well as their support, but they don't have too much more than that. Even Silverwolf, to an extent, is more utility than they are anything else, unless you really get dupes in her. LUOCHA is a little bit of a different beast. While they are primarily a healer, the way they get their healing and the extra damage they can do is what makes them truly special. But as we'll get into that, we should start with their technique, which is Mercy of a Fool. After the technique is used, the talent will be immediately triggered at the start of the next battle. So that is good. You definitely want to make sure you're setting this up for yourself before combat. Will make him as best as he could be. And now let's just go over the talent in general. So, his talent is Cycle of Life. When Abyss Flower reaches 2 stacks, LUOCHA consumes all stacks of Abyss Flower to play a field against the enemy. When any enemy in the field is attacked by an ally, the attacking ally's HP is immediately restored by an amount equal to a scaling percentage of LUOCHA's attack plus a flat amount. The field's effect lasts for 2 turns. When LUOCHA is knocked down, the field will be dispelled. So at max, this ability will immediately restore HP equal to 21% of LUOCHA's attack plus 307. So, as we already see, we are getting attack percent scaling, meaning that attack is important on this character. And what do you know? Attack will be important on every single ability of this character. That is the primary stat you want to maximize on LUOCHA here, is attack. The basic attack is Thorns of the Abyss, which is single target. Deals magic damage scaling to a percent of LUOCHA's attack to a single enemy. This scales up to 130% of his attack. His skill is Prayer of Abyss Flower, which is a restore ability. That costs a 1 skill point. After using his skill, LUOCHA immediately restores the target ally's HP equal to a scaling percent of LUOCHA's attack plus a flat amount. Meanwhile, LUOCHA gains 1 stack of Abyss Flower. And when any ally's HP percentage drops to 50% or lower, an effect equivalent to LUOCHA's skill will immediately be triggered and applied to this ally for 1 time without consuming skill points. This effect can be triggered again after 2 turns. So what that means is he has basically an active and a passive to this ability. The active will, you choose an ally, will heal them equal to a scaling percentage of his attack, which is at max 70%, plus 1025 as the max scaling for that. So really, really high numbers, right? You'll be able to heal for a lot. But they also have a safety net. So if any ally, including himself, drops below 50%, he will heal them, he will basically just use his skill on them for free. And immediately it goes as a follow-up. So he is just a huge safety net for your characters, continuous healing, and it's all attack scaling. It's really, really interesting. It allows you to have significantly squishier teams, which is super cool. Lastly, his ultimate is an AoE. It's called Death Wish. It has an entry cost of 100, which is incredibly low. It removes one buff from all enemies and deals damage equal to a scaling percentage of LUOCHA's attack to all enemies. And LUOCHA gains one stack of Abyss Flower, which is, of course, his talent, which you want to stack up. So you could stack it up via using your skill or through your ultimate. So you want to make sure you have the Abyss Flower up at all times, because his Cycle of Life field up at all times, because when your allies attack an enemy in the field, they get healed. When they drop below 50%, they get healed. LUOCHA has an active that can heal. It's all about healing. And it's all attack scaling. It's super interesting. It also has buff removal, which is also really nice. But it's just extra, right? The healing is crazy. The attack, he can deal out good damage because you want to prioritize attack on him anyways, which is really good. So he's a utility that heals a lot. Plus he could deal some damage. Plus, he's got a little bit, we'll even look at it later, a little bit of debuffing, a little bit buffing for allies. He's a little overloaded kit-wise, that's for sure. His stats, yeah, I got mine at 2,400 attack right now, so you just want to pump him up with attack. Doing this to his Light Cone. Now, his Light Cone, he has his own premium Light Cone, which is what you want on him. It is the best Light Cone for him by leaps and bounds, and that is because it is the only abundance light cone that gives you percent attack increase. No other abundance light cone gives you percent attack increase, so you really want to make sure you get that one. As for our secondary light cones, there is a handful that you can grab. What you want to be, there's a couple things you want to be looking for. I have what I would argue is the best one to have for him. There's a couple other ones you could do. But right now I have Shared Feeling on him, which increases the wearer's outgoing healing by a scaling percentage, and using skill regenerates scaling energy for all allies. So outgoing healing is a pretty good stat for him, right? If you could get both attack scaling and outgoing healing, I mean, that would be the best, but you can't always guarantee that's something that you can get, right? That's pretty greedy. As far as other good light cones for him, I would say you would want to probably grab Time Waits for No One, which is another 5-star light cone. It's the one for Bailu. It does some max HP percentage and outgoing healing by percentage as well. But the big thing is that when the ally heals, they record the amount of outgoing healing, and then when an ally launches an attack, you deal a little bit of damage equal to the recording healing value. So you could add on damage, which is why I think that one's pretty good. Warm Nights Won't Last is another good one if you finish and you buy your Nameless Honor stuff. This isn't a bad one to pick up because it increases max HP, which isn't bad, right? But also when you use a basic attack or skill, it will restore all allies' HP by amount equal to a percent of their respective max HP. So, he wants to use his attack as a skill, so extra healing on top of all the healing isn't really bad. I'd say the one you want to go for is Echoes of the Coffin, his primary one. Second best is probably Warm Nights Won't Last, which is not, if you pull this character, is not a bad pickup on your Nameless Honor. And Shared Feeling, I'd say, is probably the third best one, honestly. Just outgoing healing is a good thing to get with him. It just adds on to all the extra that we have here. Now for his traces, we're just going over the main ones that you get here, the bonus abilities. So he has Cleansing, Revival, and when the skill's effect is triggered, it will remove 1 debuff from a target ally. Really good, excellent. It's a type of supporting for your characters as well, extra utility. His next bonus ability is Sanctified, And when an enemy in the field, so that's the field that he creates, is attacked by an ally, all allies except the attacker restore HP equals 7% of LUOCHA's attack plus 93. I'm pretty sure that's scaling, I'm sure. Let me just pull it up real quick and make sure that we can see what it is at max. Never mind, actually, that doesn't scale. So, forget I said anything. That is just what it does. So, when you attack, the person that attacks is going to get healed already from the actual, like, passive of his field. But all the other allies also get some extra. So, even more just healing compounded on top of each other. It's pretty crazy. His other bonus ability is Through the Valley, which is the chance to resist crowd control debuffs increases by 70%, which is nice. I'd say that's obviously the worst one of all of them, but, you know, it's still pretty good. Different ways to reject things. These are what I would say is the best idea you want for his relics. I'd say there's pretty much nothing better for him from what I've been looking at. I've been doing a little bit of testing with, you know, full Passerby of the Wandering Cloud, but you really need some of the Musketeer Wild Wheat. So this is what I think is best for him personally. You want to make it 2. You really want to use whichever do the best attack percent increases for your relics, but you need to have 2 Musketeer of the Wild Wheat and 2 Passerby of Wandering Cloud, because they both help incredible amount, but you don't want either of them at 4 because their secondary effect just isn't useful, right? Musketeer of the Wild Wheat does attack increase by 12%, which of course will increase all his percentages and all the healing he does. You want to maximize as much attack as you can. And then the Passerby of Wandering Cloud increases outgoing healing by 10%, which of course, yeah, you want that because that also increases all the different healing he does. And he has like 70 instances of healing, so it's all very useful. But yeah, the 4-piece for Passerby of Wandering Cloud is at the start of battle immediately generate 1 skill point. Not a bad thing for full support characters, but not useful for him compared to having the attack percentage you get from Musketeer of Wild Wheat. But of course you don't want to maximize this one because what do you know? All it does is increase the speed by 6% and basic attack damage by 10%, which is not useful. If that was just attack by an extra 10%, I would say that you would want to go 4 over any of the other passerby stuff, but that is just not the case. I just pulled this recently. Is this any good, actually? It's not the primary effect, but actually, well, maybe I'll have to level it up. We'll have to take a look. Lock that one. Anyways, so that's what I have on him right now for his planar stuff. Planar. Is it planar or planar? I have the Pan-Galactic Commercial Enterprise on him right now. I don't know if this is the best one. I've been looking at it. The ones people have been recommending online, I don't really like. They've been doing the Sprightly Von Whack one, which is the energy generation by a certain percent. But I really don't like that one. And its secondary effect of like speed increase to a certain amount, advance, lets your action advance forward by 40%. But like only once. I hate that one so much. I think this is one of the better ones you could do for him. And you definitely want to, for these ones, I'd prioritize stats over like a certain set. That's for sure. And when you know, these of course are doing percent attacks. I'm pretty sure both of them are, which is probably partly why I chose them. But I think this one is good. Whereas effect hit rate by 10% doesn't do anything for him. That is completely useless, which is a little bit of a shame. But the attack increase equal to 25% of current effect hit rate isn't that bad. He gets attack percent increase based on effect hit rate, which this does. Like I said, not the best stat for him. But, you know, you throw it on you have a couple of secondary stuff like that. You could add a little bit of a percent attack to it for sure. For sure. It's not the worst. Let's go over his dupes. First one is Ablution, of the Quick. When the field is active, attack of all allies increases by 20%. He is included in all allies, so this one is really good. That is essential. Not saying that if you're a free-to-play character, if you're a free-to-play player, not saying you should chase dupes really very much. You might not, unless it's like a guaranteed not unless it's like a this is the best character in the game. You should be using all your free-to-play jade on this character. You know, which I would say that he isn't. He's a really good character, but I'm not saying he's like, so undoubtedly you should be spending all your jade on him. The only character so far that's been like that has been Zila, which is, of course, is the first one. But he's really good. If you're like, I want an extra dupe of him, just getting one will be good for you. Number 2, Bestowal from the Pure. When his skill is triggered, if the target ally's HP is lower than 50%, LUOCHA's outgoing healing increases by 30%. If the target's ally HP is 50% or higher, the ally receives a shield that can absorb damage equal to 18% of LUOCHA's attack plus 240, lasting for 2 turns. Now this one is also really good because you want him using his skill at all times. However, of course, because you want to set up his field, but obviously sometimes, with all the extra healing and all the extra stuff, and the field was already up, some characters might be at full health, and it feels like a waste to use your skill on him, on any character, just because they're already like full health. However, of course, this helps with that by giving them a shield, and of course also you could save them from danger a lot either. But that shield one is a big one because it will encourage you to continue to use your skill even when characters are at full HP. Number 3 is a level up one, where it is Surveil by the Fool. 4 is Heavy Light to the Crown. When LUOCHA's field is active, enemies become weakened and deal 12% less damage. Yet again, this is going to the extra utility, debuffing, 12% less damage, basically giving all your characters 12% damage reduction, if you want to think about it like that. Really great, really good. 5 is a level up one, where it is Cicatrix Neath the Pain. No clue if I pronounced that right. And number 6, Reunion with the Dust. When ultimate is used, there's a 100% fixed chance to reduce all enemies' all-type resistance by 20% for 2 turns. Obviously useful. Wouldn't really chase this one though. Is it good? Yeah, but is it like the best ever? I would definitely say no. I would say it's actually probably the worst one that he has. Unironically, if you are someone who's chasing dupes on him and you're like, you spend money, but whatever, you end at 4, right? You end at 4. 5 is a level up one, which is obviously useful in its own right, but like you want more of the extra utility that comes with a character like this, which is, you really don't need 6. Alright, I'm showing off the teams that we will be using here in the different types of content. In case you don't know my showcase teams, the first one is going to be centered all on the showcase character, and I want to show everything their kit can do and how well they can carry you through events, because that's a big thing. If you're a free-to-play character pulling for characters, you want to get characters that are truly going to help you complete content. So even if it's a little bit unfair for the character that we're doing the showcase on, I really want to prioritize the character we're doing the showcase on. So even if this team is like, ooh, it's a little, I don't know if it's the best team, it's not supposed to be the best team. Because that's what 5 is supposed to be. 5 is supposed to be a lot more of showing how the character can help, and an actual good team you can run them on. As you can see, it's very similar. We have a lot more damage in there. Maybe this one is mainly to show like, oh yeah, LUOCHA, we can have squishy comps, right? It is worth it and it works. And then the last one is to go more of a quote-unquote free-to-play one. If you are someone who this is literally your only 5-star character, how well do they perform with only 4-star characters, right? That's what this one is, to show off. However, a lot of these are very similar comps, but you could just get away with having this squishy characters on here. But I'll see you in some content with these teams. All right, we got team 1 here, which is supposed to be the more unbalanced one, really focused on our main character here, LUOCHA, which is the goal here with this one. I usually speed up these ones, and the other 2 will be sped up. However, I do want to start doing these ones actually live as I do them, just because this is meant to show off a lot more of their kit at the best of their ability. So I show everything off, and it's harder to do that in post than it is during. So this one will be a little bit slower, but this one goes by really fast. We're doing one of the ones where you take 2 teams in. However, we are just only focusing on this team here. I didn't actually even do the fight with the other one. But my goal here is to pump up. Basically, it's a little bit of a wanked showcase for LUOCHA, just to do everything right. We are doing everything we can to make him as good as possible. We're upping his attack in multiple different ways. We got Silver Wolf debuffing so that LUOCHA could do everything he can, right? It's meant to show off how good he can be, right? And we can see it right here, all right? We're already seeing that's the passive part of his skill, because someone went below 50% HP. He just heals him up as he would as if he used his skill. It's insane. We have an incredibly squishy team, and I mean incredibly. LUOCHA allows you to not have to use a tank, which is great. If you do not have a tank, which you will, because you have the Trailblazer, but if you don't have like Jeopard or anything like that, then it's like, you use LUOCHA and it's fine, right? You will have enough survivability. Usually you need someone to take those hits for you, but everyone else can just take their hits and get healed up. The 2 turns that need to go between aren't actually a whole lot. Like, you are able to get those. You're able to get it pretty fast. Building up his thing is also really easy as well. You want to use his skill anyways. He uses ultimate, gives you one. When you start a fight, he uses technique, you start with it. We're able to see how much healing he does. These guys get hit for a lot. They get chunked down. I have, like, look at that there. Not a little bit. She gets hit again. Oh, but she's healed. Back to full. Awesome. Every single time he uses that, they're healed back to full. Oh, and also, you can't forget that when he does his follow-up heal, it loads up his field. It helps load his field. So you just get, and you know, everyone attacks, they just get healed and healed and healed. Pay attention to the healing numbers in the next fights as well. But this one too. How, you know, this is a squishy team. This is a squishy team. These are low health. Very low health. Especially Ting Yun. She can get caught and she can just die instantly. She gets close to one shot, but hey, with LUOCHA stuff, she gets healed up. When she attacks, she gets healed, you know? When she falls low, she gets healed. If she falls low and for some reason the 2 turns aren't up, then hey, you know what? I can just heal her with LUOCHA myself. It is insane, the survivability this team has. There is no fear of death pretty much this entire fight. It is incredible. He is incredible when you are just only focusing on him. And I believe we'll win it with that. Alright, this next fight is supposed to be the more like balanced comp, right? We're going to stage, you know, Yanqing is our primary damage dealer, Ting Yun supporting him, Silver Wolf debuff, LUOCHA's a healer, just like that, pretty simple. This one goes really well. Again, this yet again goes to show just how insanely good LUOCHA is as far as just helping balance the team, right? The extra damage he adds on, while also survivability, is insane, you know. I would usually use Ting Yun support on Yanqing because he's the primary damage dealer, which I did there. But I did use it on LUOCHA first quick just because he was using his ultimate. Just made sense to maximize his ultimate damage. But Yanqing there, he's really easy. You just use his ability, make sure he's got a soul steal up and he's able to do a lot of damage. Not soul steal like stealing soul, like soul steal like sword, steel, iron type, right? These guys are really annoying because they're a lot tankier than I thought they were going to be. But I think it just goes to show about the insane survivability we have, right? That's really what it is with these characters, right? Healing characters, when you know, they make it so you can survive better. He is crazy. I do use his ult here just to make sure I kill this guy because I want to just take the chain right there. Does a lot of damage, almost kills him right there. It's really good. As we can see, when you look at his damage that he's dealing to these characters, you can tell that it's a lot. Like, pumping damage into him to get those extra healing does add up for his numbers as well. Despite not having, like, super high percent, like, attack percent for his abilities, he gets a huge, he does a good amount of damage. Far more than I thought he was going to be dealing, I'm going to be honest. Even just on basic attacks, like, I don't even have his traces leveled up pretty much at all. I just haven't gotten a chance to start farming them out for him. And he is still dealing really nice damage just by only having like level 4 attack, which is not very high, right? So as you upgrade him, he is worthwhile as upgrade. He should be probably pretty close to the top of your list because he gets so much better with upgrading his traces and everything. Makes you have everything. Look at these bombs do so much damage to these characters that they're just so fine, right? It gets close with Ting Yun. Look how much close she died, but you know what? We're gonna heal her in literally what she's gonna heal herself. Look at this. Oh my gosh, the healing from the field. Over half her health healed from that field. Just by attacking. She just attacked and got that. Like, you're going to tell me that's not insane? Yeah, LUOCHA definitely, I really like Silver Wolf a lot. Silver Wolf is a character you can throw on any team, and she'll do well, and she's really useful. She's better with more quantum characters. I still think, like, her and Zila, like, together, use them together is probably still, like, one of the best combos in the entire game. But I feel like with the amount of insane stuff they have in LUOCHA's kit without you needing to like put dupes into him or anything like that does make him better than Silver Wolf. And we finish it here with a LUOCHA attack. Alright, last team. This is the quote-unquote free-to-play team, the free-to-play friendly team. Only other 4 stars other than our premium unit, right? This one is really long, and all it does is really go to show the insane survivability, on the wire survivability that you get here with LUOCHA here. Danheng is decent, but this is another incredibly squishy team. He takes a lot of damage right away. This is a problem with LUOCHA, I'll say. Look at that, full heal off of that. That's insane. But one problem I'll say is LUOCHA is The healing thing is below 50%. You can very easily have someone get hit, and they'll stay at literally like 51% health and not get healed. You won't get to him in time before it's their turn, and they just, yeah, and they could die. It is true, that could be. The safety net isn't all-encompassing. It definitely can end up not saving you if you're depending on it, but most of the time you'll be fine. Also, as we can see here, I didn't say it when Donheng, he was so low and he hit and he just fully healed off of attacking, right? And it's just insanity, the levels he has here. Alright, so we use this and we don't need to worry about healing Donheng, because I'm pretty sure, yeah, we're going to get LUOCHA's thing here real fast and just restore him. And then we get the field back, right? So now everyone else is going to be healing by attacking, and oh man, it's insane, the survivability he has. This is where a problem comes. He gets hit with that entanglement or whatever it is. So he cannot heal while that is happening. Like, the field is up, so everyone else can heal by attacking. But he can't heal that 50%. Not that he would. Donheng didn't fall below 50%. That's what I was talking about. I was like, ooh, this is a little doomed. Maybe I should quit. Maybe I should just restart. But I persevere. No one else dies. Everyone manages to stay alive, despite we have no one that's good against these bosses, and we do win this. And it is all on LUOCHA here. He just heals and heals, and everyone lives and lives and lives, and he just like ticks them down, right? If he did not have nearly as much damage in his kit, we would just be stalled forever and we'd run out of turns, right? But because he is this utility with this damage, he just does so much. I did not heal Ting Yun here because I knew that the 2 turns is about to be up, and I just auto heal her, so I decided not to use the skill point. Not that it mattered, we were right at the end of that fight anyways. I totally wouldn't fine doing it, but just letting you think for that. Oh yeah, there I got the Yukong run. I totally forgot about that. I've like run around again. I was like, I forgot she gives you like 40% increased move speed, which after you use a technique, it's so weird. This one's interesting. I'm just so like, these fights are so it takes so long. So I work on getting the small guys just because I want to try to get them out of the way as fast as possible. And that ended up working out, and then we just kind of like slowly chunk down on the main enemy here. But this is like, Yukong and Ting Yun especially, Yukong as well. I mean, look at her, she doesn't have very high max health either. But they are just like, they are so squishy. And LUOCHA just keeps them alive. They can take hits, and he just keeps them alive. You keep the field up, you keep all that stuff up. She got really close to dying right there. I was like, oh my gosh. But luckily I could just restore, use my ult right away, which you can see I pre-do, which will also give me another Abyss Flower. Turns out I'm just going to go right into my ability right there. And oh, what do you know? I mean, right into the field right there. And oh, what do you know? Now she can just attack, and she'll just be totally fine. It's just crazy. The amount of his healing, it's just too insane. I'm definitely going to want to do a little bit of rethinking as far as where I want to put him on a tier list, and think about how maybe you should summon on his banner. I'll be honest, if this stuff's impressing you, right? If you're looking at how I'm doing this with 2 supports and a healer, and we're taking all this damage. One of my guys got 1 shot earlier, and it's just like we're doing it. The main enemy isn't weak to anyone that we have here, and we're just chunking them down. And we're not like that over level or anything. Like, we're hardly, this is an older stage, but still, it's insane. You put up a little bit more of a competent team than I have while also having LUOCHA. It's like, yeah, he can carry you through content. He can. It might take a while, he can't be the sole damage dealer, but if you are missing out on supporting and tankier characters, and you're struggling with survivability, maybe you don't have insane damage to like just deal insane damage to the point where it's like, I don't need to worry about surviving, I could kill them faster, then he is definitely a worthwhile pickup. He is good. This showcase I did for him definitely made me change my mind a lot more on how good he is. He is insane. Yeah, we're about to finish this up. You can see he still does good damage, right? Like, it's he still does good damage. Well healing, well supporting, and you even just get some dupes in him. He'll also be debuffing. He'll also be doing all this stuff. I'm pretty sure we end it on his. Yeah, I think I ended on his ultimate, just for the sake of ending it there. Yep. Perfect. All right. Yeah, see, it took a while, but, you know, he can carry you through content. He can. But that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.